remember very few of the books that were read to me as a young person, except for as I got older and my mom read like Enid Blyton and those kinds of books to me. When I was very, very young, I don't really remember the books. What I do remember are the books that I read my own kid, who's now almost 15.
Oh,
There were some out there that were in the world of financial literacy, but not nearly as many or as good as are today. And we're going to talk about another new one in a series that we have talked about before. Our guest is Cinders McLeod. She is the author of the Moneybunny books, and she's launching a new title called How Do You Spend? Hello there, Cinders.
Hello, Bruce. So great to be here.
I was so glad to hear that you'd written another one. Where are we in the series here? Give me the
We're
arc of what our kids are learning.
we're at number 5. So the first one was earn it, spend it. Second, save it, give it. This is how do you spend? And then the one I'm working on right now is how do you earn?
Okay. And, this is obviously audio. We're talking on the radio or on a podcast. Describe the world that you have created for these stories to unfold inside of. What will people see on the pages?
Well, it's a Money Bunny world in which there's a cast of characters, which are obviously bunnies. And there is money represented by carrots because I wanted to invent a currency that could cross borders.
Yes.
And also that was just a sign in semiology terms, a sign of money because everyone has different monies and money's changing all the time. So we just wanted to go with something simple for kids, which was carrots are valuable to bunny bunnies. So.
And what is the adventure in this particular book? How do you think about, communicating that lesson in an age-appropriate way for young people?
Well, in this book, Bun Money Bunny has saved her carrots and now she's working out ways to spend it. And I kind of came up with this concept quite a few years ago when I was looking into the different ages children have different awareness at, and at very early age, about 3 or so, even younger, they have the opposites coming into their brain. And I thought if I could base a story on opposites, it would kind of harmonize more and maybe sink in more. And also it was just a good way of exploring types of spending.
Okay. And what does that mean? What sort of opposites was Bun encountering?
She learned how to spend fast. She learned how to spend slow. She learned how to spend expensive. She learned how to spend cheap. She learned how to spend boring. She learned how to spend exciting. So it goes on and on. So we basically are just getting an awareness of different spending habits, as well as just having a fun picture book and fun story.
How do you get yourself into the world of a very particular demographic and psychographic? Because when my kid was, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, I knew that world. But
Mhm.
once they aged out of it and into another world, it's like I have zero experience with that age and stage. Do you have test readers? Do you go to kindergarten classes? How do you ensure that you're on point for that group?
Right. Um, yeah, I do read to classes, so that's one thing. But I just love children. I think they're the best of all human beings. And it's never really left me the whole childhood experience. And I had 2 lovely children of my own. So they definitely influenced the Money Bunnies for sure.
Now, you have the support of a big publisher, which
Mhm.
is fantastic. What
Mhm.
sort of insight did they provide in terms of what they feel the market wants these days? What's missing that your books provide?
Um, Basically, my books aren't just
Mm.
about math. It's they tell stories. So it's more something that will stick with the child more rather than giving them a lecture on like spending and saving. You're actually telling a story which involves more of an emotional slant to it so children can relate to it more. And they do, they take the books to bed with them, I've been told, and they just love the Money Bunny characters. So
Now, as a parent with kids of your own, I'm sure you remember that there was the delivery of the book, but as the reader, you're in the book. You're like in
yeah,
that
yeah,
story.
yeah.
You're delivering a financial literacy lesson to parents too. How do
I
you
know.
think about, especially when the kids like demand the book to be read over and over and over and over and over and over and over again?
Well, I have parents who always joke saying like, I need to read that book.
Yeah. And how do you think about that? How do you think about
I think that's
including your
brilliant
children?
because for one, it opens up a whole conversation between the parent and the kid. And usually the parent also says like, I wish I had books like this when I was a child. Um, and, uh, and really enjoys the discussions that come out and the things that come out. Like I spoke to one mother and she said that her child read Save It. And after that, they went to spend his money at the dollar store and he looked around and he said, you know what? I don't see anything I really want. So I think I'm just going to wait and save it for the next thing that I really want. And so it's just like little moments like that, you know, it's working, you know, you're getting through.
That's brilliant. That's what we
Yeah.
would all love for our young people.
Yeah.
How do you think about the series? You've got one you're working on. Is there an advanced, does Bun become a derivatives trader on Wall Street? Does she shift from carrots to parsnips and then play the hedge on rutabaga?
We'll just have to wait and see, won't we, Bruce?
Wait a second. Do you think that so this is obviously a topic we talk about a lot on the show. Parents talk about it all the time. There is engaging them at this level.
Mhm.
How do you think about like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds?
I would love to grow with my audience, but at the same time, my publisher, who is a very smart cookie, is actually going in the opposite direction. The last two books are, although they would still fit the 3 to 8 category, they're going even younger to younger counting and younger concepts. So I think that's fascinating. She knows something that we all don't know. So I'm going with her lead.
Yeah. When I talk to audiences about financial literacy, we talk about what's going on in schools and what's going on in books. But one of probably the most important dynamic that affects how young people learn about money is what is modeled in the household. So some of that is what is talked about, but a lot of it is what is not talked about and just quietly observed by the kids. And in particular, in these times where a lot of families are running into hardship because of inflation and housing costs and all those sorts of things. What role do you think your books play in providing a catalyst for some of those conversations?
I think it's super important in providing a catalyst. Yeah, they're just there to refer to open the conversation, to help. Like the parents are all very quiet and understanding people, and everything's very calm in bunny land. So, and you're working with bunnies, so there's nothing kind of scary about bunnies. So there's just this calm world that parents and kids can dip into and enjoy.
So great. What is your favorite part of this process? What do you love more than anything about this work?
I love opening a finished book and smelling the print and going, yes.
Okay, but what about during? That's the result for sure, but it's a lot of work.
I find the drawing the hardest. The drawing takes the longest.
Yeah.
I find the writing the easiest, although that can take some time. And this last one definitely took some time. I went through about 3 different types of stories before I landed on this one.
Wow.
But yeah, I do enjoy the drawing because I do enjoy drawing, and I do enjoy the writing because I do enjoy writing. So the whole process is fun.
That's great.
I'm so blessed to be able to do it.
And we're blessed to be on the receiving/reading end of your work. Thank you for your time today. And more importantly, thank you for the work that you're doing, putting fresh and engaging stories in the hands of parents who can then put them in the hands of young people and hopefully make a difference in how our young people think about their money over the course of their lives. Thank you.
Cheers, Bruce.
Cinders McLeod is the author of How Do You Spend? It is the latest in the series of Moneybunny books that talk about financial literacy for young people.